Today we will see the reflex arc. We have discussed about the classification of receptors based on the modality of sensation, based on location, and based on adaptability. So during that discussion, classification of receptor, while we are discussing about proprioception, we have discussed some muscle spindle reflex or muscle stretch reflex. So today let us see the reflex arc. So reflex arc is an involuntary, unplanned sequence of action and nearly instantaneous movement in response to a stimuli. For example, suppose while walking, you have put your leg upon a very sharp object, a nail, and suddenly you have retract back your leg from that sharp object. So that is a reflex arc. So the reflex arc, the pathway by which a reflex travels from the stimulus to sensory neuron, to motor neuron, to reflex muscle movement. So let us see the component of reflex arc. So there are 5 fundamental components of reflex arc. Sensory receptor, sensory neuron, a synapse in the CNS, a motor neuron, then a target organ or effector organ. Sensory neuron, we have 2 types, primary. Primary sensory neuron is a neuron with a specialized modified in the end of the neuron, a specialized region for a stimulus transaction. That portion of the neuron, they convert the stimulus into axon potential. For example, photoreceptor rods and cones, they convert the electromagnetic wave, that is light, into axon potential so that CNS will understand. So the secondary sensory receptor, it is a non-neuronal cell specialized for stimulus transaction that release neurotransmitter onto a neuron. For example, vestibular hair cell. So in the inner ear. So this movement of the hair cell, they release the neurotransmitter. That neurotransmitter stimulates the sensory neuron and it takes information to the CNS. Then second, sensory neuron component. Then synapse, sensory neuron synapse in the CNS and motor neuron. Then target organ or effector organ. The target organ or effector organ, it may be quadriceps muscle, for example, knee jerk, we have discussed in previous lecture. Then smooth muscle of the iris, pupillary light reflex, so constriction or the increase the size of the pupil. Then gland, salivary reflex, when we see some of the food, the salivation occurs, that is also a reflex. So the primary reflex, suppose this is a nerve, sensory nerve. So this end portion is modified. It may be modified by the Schwann cell in the periphery. The Schwann cell modified and may form the different layers. And the sensory neuron directly stimulate the stimulus, receive the stimulus and convert the stimulus into axon potential. For example, 3 nerve endings are pain receptors. When this pain, they are converted to axon potential and they sent to the CNS and analyze the pain. This is primary, directly the neuron, it is a neuronal cell. Then secondary, this is a hair cell. This hair movement of the hair or cilia, this cell, they will release the neurotransmitter. They are not neuronal cell. They release the chemicals. That chemical stimulates the sensory neuron. So this is primary, secondary receptor. This is primary receptor. So let us see different component, how it work and form the reflex arc. For example, in the skin, we have the hair. So the nail, which is punctured in the skin. So this nail, we have the pain receptor, 3 nerve ending. These receptors are convert this sensation into axon potential. And this sensory receptor, that is their work, the transaction. They convert the stimulus into action potential, electrical potential. That electric potential, it attached with the sensory neuron, and through the sensory neuron, that takes the action potential and entered into the spinal cord through dorsal root. And they will synapse with the motor neuron. Third, they will synapse with the motor neuron, and this motor neuron can act upon the fourth unit is motor neuron act upon the target organ or the effector organ. So here the neuron spelling is wrong. Neuron, N is missing. So this motor neuron act upon the target organ, and therefore we can remove our hand from that sharp object, or we will remove the nail. So here we can see when the sensory neuron synapse with the motor neuron, here we can see one more neuron. Through that neuron, they are synapsing with the motor neuron. This is interneuron. Through the interneuron, they are synapsing with the motor neuron. So this interneuron may not be always necessary to form a reflex arc. The sensory neuron we have seen in the knee jerk, the sensory neuron, they can directly synapse with the motor neuron without interneuron. So that then they form the reflex. So here you have to remember there may be an interneuron to form a reflex arc, but always interneuron is not necessary to form a reflex arc. So these are the 5 components we have to form the reflex arc. Additional component is interneuron. So that is not necessary always. So reflex arc, we have segmental reflexes. So that travel through a small number of segments in the spinal cord. For example, knee jerk reflex. So this is brain and spinal cord. This is sensory neuron. When the sensory neuron takes the information and they synapse through the interneuron, or they can directly synapse with the motor neuron, and they act upon the muscle target organ. So the travel distance or segment is very, very small. The sensory neuron, then directly the motor neuron, and act upon the muscle, and the function is done. When we see the intersegmental reflexes, then B and C is intersegmental reflexes. This intersegmental reflexes, for example, vestibulospinal reflex. So vestibulospinal reflex, from suppose we are moving our head, we are bending our head while walking, suddenly some object has come before our eye and we have to move our body. So when we move our head, so to prevent falling, so that the anti-gravity muscle or other muscle have to work to maintain or to prevent us from falling when we suddenly move our head portion in different direction. So when we move our head, the hair cell, they will send a signal to the CNS. From the CNS, the motor neuron travel all through the spinal cord. They have to travel in many segments of the spinal cord to the leg muscle or the muscle in the lower part of the body to maintain our steady, or to maintain or to prevent our falling. So this synapse, this CNS circuitry, this is from synapsing and moving all through the segment. This is travels a long segment, and this is called intersegmental reflexes. And another long loop intersegmental reflexes. This is sensory neuron, they synapse with the CNS, and this sensory neuron takes the information to the brain. From the brain, the motor neurons are directed and act upon the muscle. So it takes long loop. It have to travel different segment and form a loop. And this type of reflexes is called long loop intersegmental reflexes. So let us evaluate what we have learned just now. So let us see, this is a Cunningham Physiology 5th edition. These are some practice questions. So what we have discussed, let us see. Which of the following is not always a component of a reflex arc? Receptor, sensory neuron, central nervous system, interneuron, motor neuron, target organ. Yes, it is central nervous system, interneuron. It may not be always necessary to form a reflex arc. So which of the following regarding sensory receptor is false? They transduce environmental signals directly or indirectly into neuronal axon potential. A primary receptor can be a specialized peripheral region of a sensory neuron. C. They directly transduce CNS axon potential into physical activity of a target organ. They are the initial component of a reflex arc. Yes, it is C. They directly transduce CNS axon potential into physical activity. They cannot. So this is a false statement. So let us see some more example. Third, when the intensity with which a receptor is stimulated is increased, what happened to the frequency of action potential along the sensory neuron from the receptor? Increase, decrease, no change. Increase, yes, the frequency of action potential will increase. We have discussed in previous lecture. Which of the following is not an example of a segmental reflex? Quadriceps stretch reflex, it is an example of knee reflex. A pupillary light reflex, vestibulospinal posture reflex. Yes, this is vestibulospinal posture reflex. It's not a segmental. This is intersegmental reflex, vestibular, because you have to travel long many segmental areas. Fifth, an intersegmental reflex arc is one in which the course of the arc is restricted to one or a small number of segments of the CNS. No target organ is present, no receptor is present. The course of the arc traverses several segments of the CNS. So intersegmental reflex arc is one in which the course of the arc traverses several segments of the CNS. So this is about the exercise. Let us see some of other concept. So let us see the definition or the term divergence in the same track. What do you mean by divergence in the same track? So divergence with a pathway to cause amplification of the signal. Suppose this is a motor neuron coming out from spinal cord or the cranial nerve. So this motor neuron, they will synapse with many fibers and amplify its information. But only one motor neuron amplifying many fibers. This is called divergence in the same track. It is the same track in the same target organ. So divergence in multiple tracks. So these are the motor neuron coming out from CNS, and they will synapse with many tracks, multiple tracks. So this track goes in different direction. This neuron goes in different direction. So it is different directional. So divergence into multiple tracks. This is from multiple tracks, but this is amplifying on the same target area. So convergence from single source. So this is the source. Suppose, for example, from the hand, all the information coming from the finger of the hand, and that information is converged in a single neuron at the same converge into a single source. From different source the information is coming, but it will converge. This all the information are stimulated in the one neuron, for example, one neuron, and then sending the information from the same source. It is converged. and converge from multiple sources. So sources 1 from different part of the body, sources 2 from different part of the body, sources 3 from the different areas of the so that all the neuron is coming in, they are converging from multiple source into one neuron or one specific area. So this is a conversion from multiple source. So this is called reciprocal inhibitory circuit. So I have forgot to mention reciprocal inhibitory circuit. Just a minute. Circuit, reciprocal inhibitory circuit. So what do you mean by it? So this circuit, this is suppose one motor neuron. We have seen in the knee jerk reflex, a motor neuron, they are exciting one set of neuron, one alpha neuron, and another alpha neuron they are inhibiting. So one way they are stimulating another neuron, another way they are inhibiting another neuron which is going to different muscle. So this is called reciprocal inhibitory circuit. Then all the sensory informations from the different areas of the body, they converge, they will send signal to the cerebrum. So left side of the body takes the information to the right part of the cerebrum. So the cerebrum have different areas. Not all the sensory information goes to the single area, but they have different specific area where they will analyze the sensation. So they have like for example, somatosensory area, they receive, this area receive information from thigh, thorax, neck, shoulder. So different area, the same area in a, so this cortical cortex, cerebrum, they will receive, this area receive from genitalia. So this cortical area is divided and they receive the information from a specific area of the body. So the sensory information goes to this area and inform the CNS or the cerebrum for further functioning, processing. So for example, this is a single point stimulus in the skin. It goes through the spinal cord from dorsal root and it enters to the brain stem. Then from the thalamus, it will relay the sensory information in the different specific position of the cortex. So thalamus also play a role as a relay center. It is also called a relay center. All the information goes to a specific portion of the cortex, and this cortex will analyze the stimulus is weak stimulus or the moderate stimulus or the strong stimulus. So this is about today. Okay, thank you.